We have social media right now in the country. It is an avenue that Kenyans use to discuss the issues that are affecting them, the issues they think need to be addressed by the government. With regard to the story that you've just seen on Moses Kuria, are we going too far with social media? Dr. Mustafa?
Social media, first of all, is good. It's good for community. It's good for development. It's just how we use that social media. It's just like a knife. You can decide to use a knife to do harm and to do good. And with social media, it's good that it's being watched. And it's good that people know, Kenyans know, that they are being watched on how they are using social media. Social media has caused revolutions and it has caused wars in other places.
Want to cry there?
Yeah, certainly I would say that social media is a good development. But our weakness is that in this country, we have the leeway to misuse practically everything. I am a bit delighted to hear that the Judiciary and the National Security and Advisory Committee were sitting together today. And I feel a responsibility to say that let us not feel that the government is not in that debate. In spite of having been invited as a security expert, as myself, I am still in government. And at least when I'm senior, at least for the part of the Inspector General of Police, some implied presence should be figured out. I know that he's a man who wants to communicate, he is a man who wants Kenyans behind him, and certainly if it were not of the exigence of duty, he would certainly be here to put across a point. But most importantly is that in this country, going by the situation which is existing here, we have a problem at two levels. One level, which is most immediate, is that we have criminals who are prepared to unleash violence on each and everybody. Whatever reason they give, violence is criminal. They have limited the rights of Kenyans. They have meant the greatest feeling of a human being, the feeling of liberty. They have suppressed it, and that one can lead to a very bad eruption. We have another problem, which is more strategic. The foundational issues. When I read the constitution we passed last time, I told a few of my colleagues that there is no space for criminal justice here. I remember one, and I wish I had his permission to quote him, who feels he is a very good human rights defender. And I told them, going by the environment in this country, there are no human rights here. Because we have inverted the concept of human rights to mean the rights of a few social deviants. And human rights are universal in the most universal sense of the word. They are supposed to apply equally to all of us. If it is the feeling of liberty, there is no time I can enjoy my liberty until Dr. Mustafa here has no space to breathe. Until Dr. Mustafa is saying, I need an AK-47 rifle. The other thing is also the laws dealing with criminals. The Criminal Procedure Code, the Evidence Act, the Penal Code itself, the laws guiding. The Constitution in its wisdom provided for a law that will define the limits of our rights.
All right, we're talking about limits. Let me raise this. You're talking about limits, yeah? Yes. But then what does that say about extrajudicial killings? Yesterday we had a very emotive discussion really in Mombasa, and we were talking to family members who don't know where the family members are. And to be specific, we're speaking about a gentleman called Hemedi. He has disappeared. Police say he took off when they arrested him. They're family members of some of the sheikhs who have been killed. What then does that say about extrajudicial killings? When you say we are at a point as a country where human rights really needs to be shelved aside.
Let me tell you, you have called him Hamed. Hamed has his own human rights, which are very sacred, just as the human rights of Kiraithe or Dr. Mustafa or Linda here. Let me assert that as a basic principle.
Good.
And let me say that there is no civilized country which can ever propagate extrajudicial killings. Having said that, some of these cases are in a court of law. And you know, going by the laws of this country, we are not at liberty to sit here and debate cases which are before court. Let's wait for the verdict of the court, and we hope it will be a learned judgment. And more importantly, let's wait for the police to complete their investigations and tell us where Hamed is. Dr.
Mustafa, let me know your thoughts vis-a-vis the aspect of human rights.
First of all, I think with regard to what Kiraida has just talked about in terms of the current constitutional provisions with regard to the limitation of rights that I think the police service is claiming that this isn't there, and the courts are letting loose non-criminals, non-terrorists. I would plead that to a point we listen to this debate, and I think Chief Justice Willie Mutunga and the different arms of the government, I think they are talking about these issues with a view to try and remedy it.
All right.
And let them do that. However, I want to say that human rights.
A little bit quickly, because we need to take a break.
Yeah, human rights is universal. It is something that must be guaranteed, and there should be no incident of extrajudicial country in any civilized society.
All right, you're watching KTN. Thank you for staying with us. Remember, our hashtag tonight is KTN Bottom Line. We are discussing the issue of radicalization and terror in the country. Remember, we are live from Mombasa. Yvonne Okwara, John Alanamu, and the entire team there is keeping the discussion going. Here in Nairobi, we have Ben Kitili as well, looking at the day's top stories. Stay with us. We'll be right back.